Thank you so much for joining me.
Welcome. Thank you.
How are you enjoying NOSH Live so far?
Doing great. Great show.
So can you tell us just a little bit about Sunrise Strategic Partners and what you guys do and what your kind of investment strategy is?
Yeah, so Sunrise is a fund. We're based out of Boulder, Colorado. We were founded by Steve Hughes, who is the founder of Boulder Brands and is just a real legend in our industry. And what we do is we have a portfolio of 10 investments in the kind of better for you food and beverage space. Everything from our biggest investment is a company called Kodiak Cakes, Vital Farms, all the way down to our smallest companies, Little Secrets, a confectionery company, Coolhouse, an ice cream company. We're really investing in companies that are trying to move our food system forward, that they're bringing innovation to tired categories that have been under-innovated in the past. And we're really working with those founders to try to go and help them scale their brands in the right way.
Mm-hmm. So I know one of the things you guys kind of look for is brands that resonate with millennials. So what are you seeing as what millennials are looking for right now, and what kind of catches your eye?
Well, I think you're right. The common thread in the companies that we invest in are companies that are really taking kind of more modern food values, things that millennial, Gen Z consumers are really looking for, because we just think that those consumers are on the cusp of where the food system is going, where it needs to go. And so we see things like, grass-fed is a common theme throughout our portfolio. We've got several investments that play in that space. We sort of think that is something that could be, beyond organic, the next generation of organic. That's one example. We continue to think that, with millennial consumers, things like refined white flour, it's just going to become obsolete. So that's where you see brands like Kodiak and even our newest investment, Cauliflower, coming in. And so those are the types of things that we really think millennials are on the cusp of, and so we focus on companies that really speak to their food values.
Nice. So last August you guys announced that you had invested in Coolhouse. So what about Coolhouse that interested you guys, and what did you see that made them stand out from other ice cream brands?
Yeah, we really love that brand. I mean, first of all, the founder, Natasha Case, and the business she's built, it's just a really great modern take on the ice cream category. When you think about Haagen-Dazs and even Ben & Jerry's, brands that have been around here forever, we really think that Coolhouse could be sort of a 2.0 version of those brands. That, again, back to your previous question, really speaks to millennial consumers in a higher impact way. The products are just awesome. They just launched a dairy-free line of sandwiches at Whole Foods exclusively here. That is just, it's certainly the first time I've ever tried a dairy-free ice cream where you cannot tell the difference between a full-fat dairy ice cream. And so we just think the products are great, they're fun, great founding story, and we think it could be a real 2.0 idea here in this category.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, there's such a rise in plant-based ice cream and lactose-free and dairy-free. Like, what do you think, how do you think that their product stands out from all the other ones that are kind of popping up right now?
Well, first and foremost, we just know that if you try Coolhouse, if that team is able to get a consumer to try Coolhouse, we just know the product performs. And the truth is that not all of them do. So we really think that there's a taste benefit that is really present in that product. And we just also think it's fun. When your brand names, when your flavor names are things like milkshake and fries, they're not trying to be so earnest and better for you that they forget that it's ice cream and it should be fun. And so that's one of the things we love about Coolhouse, why we think it's better.
It's interesting that you mentioned that flavor name, because something that was really interesting in NOSH, we covered like IRI state of the food industry, and one of the things that millennials are really interested in is experiential flavors and stuff. Like, why do you think that millennials are interested in like taking that next step when it comes to like flavors or something? Why is that engaging to people?
Well, I just think part of what you're seeing is just the when you think about just the diverse country, the globalization of just everything around us, everything from technology to food trends. For as big as the world is, it's so small today in the sense that you can just access foods from around the world. You can access tastes from around the world. You can travel. You can do all these things. And I just think it makes people interested in something that might be different from what they grew up. They're more willing to try new things. And food is one of those things where it's a way to kind of experience something different in a fairly low kind of cost way. You can try something new, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, you don't, and that's fine. But that's part of why I think you just see people trying new things in the food category, unlike other categories, perhaps where the commitment and the price to try something new is a little higher.
And we just saw a presentation on Pinterest and kind of, I think Coolhouse specifically, but a lot of your brands, like the aesthetic is something that's important. So what do you kind of think about when you're working with brands, like what they need to do to stand out just visually?
Well, I think, with Sunrise, one of the things we talk to our companies about is just that if you've got a great product that was created by a founder who did what she or he did in a really authentic way, and then you find a way to bring that sense of design, that package, together in the right way, you really are 90% of the way there. You make it visible in store. You work with companies like Pinterest to be present on social media and in Instagram feeds and things like that. That really is the way people try and discover things today. It's very, very different than the kind of old paid advertising models. Before Sunrise, I spent 20 years at one of the larger consumer packaged goods companies, and I spent a lot of money on advertising that you never knew whether it hit the mark or not. Today with things like Pinterest and Instagram, you just know more about how to reach consumers than you ever have.
Right. And do you think with the brands you guys work with, is that something that these founders are interested in, is like trying to get that online presence? Is something that's scary or intimidating, or do you think they're of the younger they are, they're more ready they are?
No, they're more ready, yeah, definitely. I mean, we I think one of the things that we try to have in our fund that is different is, again, you've got a guy like Steve, you've got people like me, our team. We've spent our careers building brands in this space, and so what we try to do is bring some of the things that we know the best to some of these companies, help them kind of troubleshoot and solve problems. When it comes to marketing and social media and digital presences, the reality is so many of the founders that partner with us, they're so far ahead of the curve on how to reach people in that way. So I just am really inspired by how a person like Natasha on Coolhouse, reaches people in just a completely unique way from what I had before. So.
And can you talk about some of the other brands you work with? I think we're talking about a lot about Coolhouse, but can you talk a little bit about who else you guys are working with or who you're excited about?
Yeah. So one of the companies we really love, we got several people from it here at NOSH today, is Maple Hill Creamery. It's the #1 grass-fed milk in Whole Foods today. We think it, back to my point earlier, we think it is kind of a beyond organic brand. When you think about the dairy industry and just the troubles that it's had, grass-fed, dairy really solves a lot of that. So we love that investment. We've got another investment in a company called Teton Waters Ranch, based out of Colorado. It's a grass-fed beef company and sausage company. And then we've got really fun brand called Little Secrets. I'd mentioned that one. It's a clean confectionery company that is just doing really great things, partnering with the team at Whole Foods, and we're really excited about the future of that one.
So with Maple Hill Creamery, do you think there's any challenges that a dairy company faces right now when there's such a rise in plant-based milks and everything like that? What have you guys faced with that?
Yeah. Look, I don't know that you could find a category that is undergoing more change than that one is right now. I spent a lot of time in the yogurt category, kind of when I was still with a larger CPG, and so dairy is just under massive change. And so I guess the way I think of it though is that look, plant-based is going to continue to be fast growing. It's going to reach new consumers. It will be a big part of the category moving forward. There's no doubt about it. But there is also still a need to kind of bring innovation and fresh thinking to the core, to milk. And I think what you're seeing is that consumers are just going to be less and less concerned about industrially produced, or interested in, about industrial produced milk that you can buy for $1.99 at a gallon. More and more people are just going to get discerning. And so what we think Maple Hill is doing is they're taking the idea of dairy, of milk, and just elevating it, making it better, and going even frankly beyond where organic is today. That's something that we think is really important, particularly when you start thinking about just, again, the challenges in the category.
So what do you think is something that they're doing to kind of innovate?
Say again?
So what do you think there's something that they're doing to kind of innovate and to grab people who might be interested in plant-based milk?
Well, again, I don't know that Maple Hill is per se not trying to kind of go after people and convert people back from plant-based milk to traditional dairy. I think what we think is that for people who just don't like plant-based milks, for instance, we can go and give them a better alternative to some of the other organic milks and whatnot that they've had before. And so that's really where we're trying to play with that brand. It's a really terrific opportunity that's very fast growth for us right now.
Great. Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us. This was a great conversation. So next on the main stage, we have Robin Craven, former CEO of Megan Foods and Garden of Life. So thanks for joining us.